Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Nimisha Jadon from School of Studies Environmental Chemistry, Jivaji University, Gwalior. Today we are going to discuss about the sampling techniques of air pollutants under the paper of environmental analysis. The learning objective of this module including the introduction of sampling of air pollutants, then we have also discussed the sampling methods of various pollutants like gaseous pollutants, particulate matters and the liquid pollutants. So first of all, we should know about the air pollutants. We have already discussed in a previous module that the various unwanted gases which are present in a high amount in the atmosphere is considered as a pollutant in the air. So for the analysis of such kind of pollutant gases, there is a need of proper sampling method and the measurement of these pollutants by various other techniques. So first of all, we have discussed here about the various sampling techniques of such kind of air pollutants. Sampling and measurement is also known as the air quality monitoring. It is an integral component of any air pollution control program. There are two situations for the air quality measurement. Number one is the ambient air quality and number two is the stack air quality sample. The ambient air quality means where the pollutants in ambient air atmosphere present is measured by the various techniques. That means the pollutants which are present naturally in the urban area or in the present in the environment is considered as a ambient air parameters. But in case of stack air sampling, the pollutants which are emitted directly from the smokestack of any industries is determined at their sources. So there is two types of sampling procedure. The one is ambient air quality monitoring and second one is stack air quality monitoring. Now first we have discussed about the ambient air sampling. In such type of sampling, the concentration of pollutants is extremely small. The spatial measures are necessary to minimize such changes. For example, sulfur dioxide may be oxidized to sulfur oxide, and carrying out the analysis for sulfur dioxide can be misleading in the absence of precautions to prevent the oxidation of such compound. Usually, a reducing agents such as the isopropanol is used as a medium for collecting sulfur dioxide so that it can control the oxidation of sulfur dioxide into the sulfur oxide. A typical air sampling system consists of a sample collector, a flow meter to measure the airflow through the collector, and a pump to draw the air sample through the system. The flow meter can be positioned either upstream or the downstream. Here the figure shows a typical arrangement of the air sampling equipment as discussed previously about the position of the flow meter. The flow meter is placed downstream if the pressure drop across the collector is low, but in opposite case it must be placed upstream. Now next is the significance of position of flow meter. If the flow meter is not placed at right condition, there occurs a serious error in airflow measurement. So the flow meters are designed to operate at particular position and are calibrated at atmospheric pressure. Here now we discuss about the various methods used for the collection of gaseous air pollutants. In general, there are four types of collection methods are used for the gaseous air pollutants. The number one is grab sampling. The second one is the absorption in the liquid. The third one is the adsorption on solid material, and fourth one is the freeze out sampling. First, we have discussed about the grab sampling. In grab sampling, the sample is collected by filling an evacuated flask on an inflatable bag. Plastic bags have been widely used for the grab sampling and for storage before the analysis. The bag sampling is subject to losses caused by the moisture concentration or the diffusion through the walls of the bag. The losses can be minimized by performing the analysis immediately following collection. Now we discuss here about the procedure of grab sampling. The grab samples may be taken using rigid wall containers made from glass or stainless steel. These containers are first evacuated and then filled by allowing air to enter. Alternatively, a container may be filled with water and then used as a collector simply by draining away the water, which is replaced by the air sample. Many problems associated with bag samplers are common to rigid container also, and the container are often heated by wrapping them with heating tapes or nichrome wires to prevent condensation during the sampling. The next is the absorption in the liquid. The absorption in the liquid is done by the absorption of the atmospheric gases. The liquid medium is probably the most commonly employed method of collecting the gaseous samples. The absorption separates the desired pollutant from air either through direct solubility in the absorbing medium or by chemical reaction. Many different types of collectors are in use, ranging from simple bubbles to complex devices which provide a high degree of gas-liquid contact. One such device is fritted glass absorber, where the stream is broken up into extremely small bubbles. Here the figure A shows some types of the fritted glass type of absorber, and the figure B shows the impinger type of absorber. In the first figure, we have seen there are three types of fritted glass absorber. The number one is simple bubbler, the second one is disc type, and third one is the tip type, where we kept the absorber and the atmospheric gas pollutants are absorbed at this type of disc, tip, or either at the bottom surface of the fritted absorber. But in figure V, we have seen the two types of impingers, that is green birch Smith type of spinger or the jet type of spinger, where the spinger sucked out the atmospheric gases into the liquid, and this liquid is particularly absorbs the oxides of nitrogen or the sulfur, so that these liquid after that can be used for the analysis of these atmospheric pollutant. The third one type is the absorption on solids. This method is based on the tendency of gases to be absorbed on the surface of solid materials. The sample should pass through packed column containing a finely divided solid adsorbent. On that surface, the pollutants are retained and concentrated. The most commonly used solid absorbent are the granular porous solid such as activated charcoal and the silica gel. Now we discuss about the freeze out type of sampling. In freeze out sampling, a series of cold which are maintained at progressively lower temperature are used to draw the air sample, whereby the pollutants are condensed. The tapes are brought to the laboratory, the samples are removed and analyzed by means of gas chromatographic technique, infrared or the ultraviolet spectrophotometric technique, mass spectrometry and by the weight chemical means. The method is potentially useful for trapping a large number of pollutants for the analysis. Here in this table, the various type of coolants which are used in the freeze out type of sampling is discussed here. The number one coolant is the ice water, which attain the temperature is 0 degree centigrade. The second one coolant is the ice salt, which again maintain the temperature of minus 21 degree centigrade. The third coolant is the dry ice and acetone, which maintain the temperature is minus 79 degree centigrade. Then the liquid air used as a coolant to maintain the temperature in minus 147 degree centigrade. After that, liquid oxygen and liquid nitrogen is also used as coolant and maintain the temperature minus 183 degree centigrade and minus 196 degree centigrade respectively. Now we discuss here about the collection of particulate pollutants. The particulate pollutants in the atmosphere are that which settle down due to the force of gravity, and there are different types of techniques used for their collection. The number one technique is known as sedimentation technique or dust fall jar. The simplest device used for sampling particles larger than the 1 micrometer in diameter is the dust fall collector. A typical collector consists of a plastic jar of about 20 to 35 centimeter height and 10 to 15 centimeter diameter at the base, with a slight inward tapering of the walls from the top to bottom. Here is the picture of the dust fall collector for the particulate matter. In this figure shows that the typical collector consists of a plastic jar. A holder is provided to ensure safe and upright position of the collector. The sample is deposited over a period of 1 month and then the material is dried and analyzed. Here we have discussed about the high volume filtration or the high volume sampler. The high volume filtration method is popular for the measurement of the mass concentration of suspended particulate matters less than 10 picometer or the micrometer. The sampler, universally known as high vol, is illustrated in the volume of air is sucked by the high speed blower through a fine filter, and the increase in the weight due to the trapped particle is measured by using this high volume sampler. Here you have seen the picture of high volume sampler, which shows that in high volume sampler the blower is used to suck a high speed known amount of air into the high volume sampler, so that the known amount of air passes through the filter, and this filter is made up of either granular, fibrous or the glass filter, so that they suck the whole gas and the particulate matter are absorbed at the surface of this filter. The filter, usually made of fibrous or granular material, provides a dense porous medium through which an air stream must change direction in a random fashion, allowing the entrained particles to impact on the filter material. A typical glass fiber filter used in the air samplers has an efficiency of over 90% for particles of size 0.3 micrometer, and it is moderately effective for trapping particles of as small size as 0.05 micrometer. The next is the tape sampler. It is another popular method of sampling the particulate matter level of the atmosphere is the soil haze particle sampler. In this method, a known volume of air is passed through a paper tap which is advanced in discrete time intervals from a supply reel to a take-up reel. During the sampling period, the tape is held stationary. In this figure shows the tape sampler with beta ray attenuator. Here we see a beam of beta particle is passed through the tapper and measuring the intensity of transmitted light and collected radiation that pass to clean tap and through spot. The mass of particulate matter per unit area can be calculated. The sampling time could be variable from as little as 10 minutes per sample to 2 hours depending upon the amount of particulates. The air is passed through a nozzle and the particulates are collected on the paper tap forming a spot. Here we have discussed about the impingers which are used for the sampling of the gaseous pollutants. First of all, we have discussed about the Greenberg-Smith type of impinger. In an impinger, the separation of the particulates from the air streams takes place by the collision against a flat surface. The weight impingement is used for the collection of particulates in a liquid phase. As in gas sampling, the air stream containing a particulate impinges at a high velocity onto a flat surface immersed in the liquid. The gas breaks up into small bubbles and the particles are collected by change in the direction of gas flow and promoting their contact with the liquid. This is a figure of 4-stage cascade impactor. The figure shows that the type of impinger known as Greenberg-Smith type of impinger, by which 99 to 90% efficiency of the particles of size equal or greater than 1 micrometer can be collected. The figure shows that as the particulate pass through the cascade, that it is starting moving out, then finally the whole particles are collected or at the bottom of this cascade impactor, and the filter is used to collect the particulate matter. Now here we have discussed about the electrostatic precipitation. The air sampling can be done on the basis of the principle of electrostatic precipitation. The several types of portable commercial precipitators are available nowadays in the market. During their operation, a negative charge is imparted to a wire placed axially inside the cylinder, which is positively charged. When the particles-laden airstream passes through the cylinder, the particles acquire a negative charge from the corona discharge occurring on the central wire. The particles migrate towards the inner surface of the cylinder and are removed by subsequent chemical or the microscopic analysis. The second one process that we are using is the thermal precipitation. The thermal precipitators operate on the principle that small particles under the influence of strong temperature gradient between the two surfaces have the tendency to move towards the lower temperature to the higher temperature and deposited at their surface. The colder of this, if the one end is the colder of this two surface and other one is the hot portion of the surface. The temperature gradients are maintained through the all gradient between the two surface, and the one region of this surface is colder than the other surface, and the temperature is normally of the order of 3000 degrees centigrade per centimeter. To maintain such high gradient, the gas velocity through the sampling device must be maintained low, and this is usually between the 10 to 200 ml per minute depending on the type of devices. Now we discuss about the stack sampling. The major problem in stack sampling is of obtaining a representative sample. If a representative sample is not obtained, then the concentration and composition of the actual gas stream will be different, and serious errors would result in the analysis. The important factors in obtaining a representative sample are the selection of the sampling site and the number of sampling points required. The sampling site should be located at least 8 stack or the duct diameter downstream and the 2 diameters upstream from any source of flow disturbance such as bands, fittings or the constrictions. The gas stream is in a stack is normally under the turbulence flow conditions, and any flow disturbance would cause non-uniform and unstable gas flow profiles and non-uniform particles concentration patterns. These problems can be minimized by providing proper distance so that adequate mixing may occur. The basic routine for obtaining a gas sample from stack emissions is similar to that employed in sampling of particulate matter. However, in this case, the sampling is much easier because it is not necessary to sample at isokinetic conditions. The sample can be withdrawn from the stack at a constant rate independent of the flow rate in the stack. In some stacks, it is not always possible to ensure uniform flow, so concentration patterns and hence multiple samples are required to obtain a representative sample. That is, the actual sampling must be performed at a number of transverse points in the stack. The two sets of transverse readings, that is 90 degree apart, are taken in the same plane for circular stacks. The number of transverse points required on each of the two perpendiculars. According to the earlier sampling points criteria, the number of transfer points required on each of the two perpendiculars is 6. Here the figure shows the major features of the several commonly used components in stack sampling system. The number 1 is filter media, may be heated to prevent the condensation. The second one is the cyclone, where the cyclone movement of air is continued, so the particulate matter is collected at the base of the cyclone. Then the next one is the impingers or bubble type of collector, where the temperature control both when it is required, and the impinger is dipped in a absorbing liquid medium and the gas are absorbed particular this liquid medium. Then the third one is the freeze out trap, where the various segments of different temperature is maintained to trap out the particulate matters. And the next one is the adsorption process, where we are using activated carbon or the silica gel as an adsorbent media, and when the gas pass through this system, the activated carbon, the particulated matter absorbed at the surface of the medium. The next is also a type of various types of stack sampler. The number one is the condenser. Condenser is required to collect the various types of gases. Then orient flow meter, where the gas is passed through the various nozzles and then collected at the last point of the flow meter. Then the critical arteries, where the air is again passed through the system and collected at the middle of the sampler. Then the rotameter. Next one is the gas meter, where gas is regulated by the meter and the absorbing medium is available at the middle of this gas meter. Then here is the next one is the water stream or compressed air type of pump, where the vacuum source is provided at one source, so the gas is sucked out by the pump and the particulate matter or pollutants are absorbed by the absorbing media. And the last one is the type of injector, where we inject the atmospheric gases for the analysis. In the last figure shows the sampling system or the sampling train. It is consist of a nozzle placed in the gas stream or the sampling probe, through which the sample is drawn at different transfers, that is particulates matter, and the gas collection devices, a flow measuring devices, a prime mover such as vacuum pump is applied to maintain the flow of the atmospheric gas. So at the end of this module, we can conclude it that we can get the information about the various techniques of air sampling we are using nowadays for sampling of ambient air, as well as for the stack sampling. And we also came to know that the various types of impingers and the filters and the instrument like high volume sampler is used to absorb the gaseous pollutants, and after the collection of these gaseous pollutants, they can be directly measured by the other instrumental techniques. Thank you so much.